What is up, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today we are here for the start and the beginning of Season 2 of F1 2021 My Team Career Mode. If you haven't seen the season finale from Season 1, boy oh boy, I recommend you go check that out. It was an absolute doozy. Max Verstappen winning the championship over Lewis Hamilton and us securing 10th place in the Drivers' Championship. Don't get confused about the Constructors, but no, we did finish 10th in the Constructors' Championship. And as usual, I made another bugger up at the end of Season 1. I thought I saved the end of season stuff into the Season 2 folder, but apparently I didn't. So for this, excuse me, for this season, we're going to bring in China, and the track that we are going to take out is Japan, because that's honestly one of my weakest tracks. The suits that you're going to see, this will give you some indication of what the livery will look like. Well, only the colours in this case. And also, we have gotten rid of Robert Schwartzman, and we have signed Mick Schumacher into the team. I feel like Robert, just like Christian, he got off to a good start, but he just never really kept it going. So we've said goodbye to Robert Schwartzman, and we've said hello to Mick Schumacher. He now joins the team for the first time, and to be honest, Mick, I reckon he's probably happy to get out of Haas. To be honest, probably go into a car at least that's faster than Haas, in all honesty. So we're into the season opener now, getting through all the pre-season stuff. Did the livery, we changed the badge as well. Only the we only went from grey to black. I think the shading on around the back looks actually looks pretty cool. And actually, so in terms of signing Mick, I think it was to me it felt like a good signing, and I think he can, as long as Mick can bring to what I expect from him, and as long as he can keep it up, then I reckon he has a very good future here in this team. A little bit of a spoiler alert if you didn't see that livery. But in terms of the regulation changes, we've actually lost a bit of performance over the winter break. I thought, because we had saved we saved all the powertrain parts, and that was the only department that was affected. I thought we would have done quite well, but apparently that is not the case. I mean, we saved all of the powertrain parts, so all of the powertrain parts that we've saved, they're on the car for this season, but apparently that is not the case. And we did have some chassis upgrades, and I think one of them was a tyre wear upgrade, and one might have been a weight reduction upgrade. I don't know, but we'll have to wait on that. But now, it's time to go to the car review, and to be honest, I actually like the look of this, and I hope you do too. So there she is, the CG Motorsport 2.0 that is going to be running in Season 2. And probably the last season of F1 2021, only because F1, not 2022, but F1 22 is just around the corner. In fact, it's actually coming on the 1st of July. So, before we got to Bahrain, we had a whole bunch of cash to spend. So we did that on fabrication upgrades on every department. So that means we could do up to 3 upgrades at a time, which is actually pretty handy. There's probably some that I could probably focus on. I don't know whether that's build time. I reckon build time is probably going to be an important one in all honesty, because the faster we can get these upgrades on, the quicker we can upgrade our car and get it towards the top. I mean, I highly doubt we're going to be contesting for the championship this year. It'll have to take an absolute miracle for us to win this championship. So I reckon for this season, we're going to try and maybe score another top 10 finish in this championship. We've got 23 races to do so, and hopefully it'll be enough to secure us a top 10, and hopefully we won't have to fight for it come Abu Dhabi. But that's a long season ahead. There's a long way to go in this.
Alright, welcome to the new season. I think we've done a pretty good job protecting our development gains through the regs change, so the car should be pretty decent. But get out there, let us know how it feels.
Thank you, Pierre, and I will let you know how the car feels. Hopefully the car feels a lot better than what it did at the end of Abu Dhabi. Honestly, the car did not feel great in the last 2 laps. I literally crapped the bed, and hopefully I won't have to deal with that throughout practice and hopefully the season. So into Friday practice now, and in all honesty, I am a little bit skeptical on how the car is going to feel, because it's the brand new season. The track's green, which means there's not a lot of rubber, but as the weekend progresses, the track will get more grippier, more rubbered down, and that means that the lap times will eventually get quicker. So we'll see how that goes. And as I was heading out, I noticed that some of the controllers on the wheel weren't the settings that I originally had. So that actually got my attention as I was coming out of the pit lane. And if you look at the overtake button, I have to press the A button to activate the overtake. That is not the button that I was using throughout the last couple of races that I did from season 1 with the wheel. So I ended up changing the settings, and I just had to make sure that I had to have the right settings on, because the settings that I use I just felt more comfortable and I got used to. So as you can see right now, we're gonna just change a few things. Well, not really change, but press that, that certain whatever it is, and press the same button that we've been using, that I'm comfortable with, and that I know. So we can save that to custom control scheme, which is the current wheel that I'm using, and we can continue on, and all is normal now. So we did a couple of laps just on the hards in the first few minutes, and now we're into the track acclimatization, and now we've got the normal Bahrain setup on, which is what we generally use, and something that I've been trying out in time trial as well, which actually feels pretty good in all honesty. And if it feels good in the sunshine, then hopefully it feels better in the night time. We'll just have to wait and see. Getting through all the practice programs now. I'm actually not going to do all of the programs because we do have a qualifying run to do as well, but I decided to wait until the night session, and we can just do a run there. So now we're going to see what changes have been made. George Russell has gone to Alfa Romeo. Giovinazzi has stayed there. Nicholas Latifi has gone to Haas, and Williams have an all-new lineup. So Robert has actually got a lifeline with Williams, and Callum Ilott has taken that secondary seat. And I think that's all of the changes that I made. If you guys saw any, just let me know in the comments below. So now we've gone into practice 2, and we got P7 in practice. That was the qualifying run. But one thing I forgot to do was I forgot to up the AI difficulty back up to 100, which is what I usually use. So at that time was I didn't see what that time was. It was a 27.1 or whatever it was. It was a light 27. And I'm thinking realistically that's probably going to get us, what would you say, like 19th, 18th, something like that. We know that the AI are ridiculous around here, especially in qualifying. So let's just see how far we can get in this session. So here we go then for the first qualifying session of the brand new season. Not expecting to get out of Q1 though. I mean, it would have to take an absolute stonking lap to get out of Q1, but I don't think that is going to be the case. So our aim is obviously be 21st because that's where we were last year, and that is a moment if I've ever seen one. We have completely overshot the last turn, and we just made a blind mistake. And to be honest, I wasn't even paying attention to where I was going. I just randomly just zoned out. I know that might sound like a joke to you, but honestly, that is exactly what happened. Yeah, I just zoned out and just completely missed the breaking point. Honestly. Anyway, at the end of our first run, it's a 27.8. It's not great. And, well, that lap was just in clear air, but we do have time to do one more lap. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to wait for everyone to enter the track, and then we are going to enter the track ourselves to do our final run in qualifying. So here we go. Now this is our last run. Now we're already 4 tenths up before we've even made it to the end of the first sector. Through the S's now, I feel like the rotation through the S's is actually pretty good, and I don't use a lot of the exit curb. In fact, I miss it on that occasion. Through the hairpin at turn 8, run through turn 10 was actually pretty good. Rotation through 11 up to 12 is actually pretty good. Avoid the exit curve. I'm always a little worried when I go around that fast right-hander, because you touch the curb again in this game, you will spin out. Into the last corner now, and to be honest, it felt like a pretty good lap. I don't think I could have found any more time than what I could have done, and it's P19 on the grid. So as our suspicions were, we're not doubting Q1, and to be honest, I'm not that surprised. To be honest, we are behind our former teammate Robert SHWARTZMAN. People say that's an embarrassing result, finishing behind your ex-teammate, and your teammate is into Q2. I'm not that embarrassed, because I know that Bahrain is a strong track for the AI, and you know, only strategy will get us in front of them. So hopefully in this race we can have a good race and hopefully get as close to the top 10 as possible. That's literally the aim for this race.
Months of rumour and speculation all come to an end today as we return to racing for the opening event of what promises to be an enthralling season. Welcome along then to round 1 of this year's Formula One World Championship. There's no shortage of passing opportunities around the 3.36 miles of the Bahrain International Circuit, with the best at turn 1 of course, and then another soon into turn 4. 15 corners here, 6 to the left and 9 to the right, and we could see 1 or 2 flat spots into the tight left-hander of turn 10. A new season then, a clean slate where anything could happen. Anthony Davidson is with me today as we get another year of Formula One underway.
We're into those tense few minutes before the first race then. Everyone's a little bit nervous about reliability. They haven't been running in the hot, turbulent wake of other cars in practice, and they've not been pushing at 100% for long durations. Let's hope no one has to deal with any nasty surprises.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. Lando Norris put in a fantastic lap yesterday and will start from pole position, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Ricciardo, Hamilton, Charles Leclerc and Fernando Alonso, Sainz, Verstappen, Perez and Esteban Ocon, Gasly, Tsunoda, Sebastian Vettel and Stroll, Russell, Mick Schumacher, Robert Schwartzman and Skip, Eilert, Mazepin, Latifi and Antonio Giovinazzi starts from the back of the grid.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
And don't you let me down today, Jeff. First time we've heard him over the radio before the racing quite some time. Welcome guys to the grid of the Bahrain Grand Prix. We're getting ready for the season opener for this race. I am so tempted to start on the soft compound tyres, but I feel like that is a little bit of a stretch. just to go on the hard. So we're going to go mediums to hards as we get ready now. 5 red lights ahead of the season opener for Season 2. Lights out and we are racing. Can we get a good start up against the other medium compound tyre runners? No, not really. Same usual start, but we're going to dive bomb as many people as we can. We get up as far as Stroll, but we don't go up his inside. In fact, we are up in the inside of Mick, but he gets the traction and he prevails and he stays in front. So we're up 2 spots from where we originally were, and hopefully we can continue to march forward. And I moved up onto the curb because I thought I was going to rear Mick, but apparently we didn't, and all is good and we can continue on our way. Robert is up our inside. I didn't think he would go up our inside because that's not usually an overtaking spot through the SS, unless you can get a good run out of turn 4 where you can make or force the overtake, if you know what I mean. So at the end of the first lap, we're better than where we were last season. We were dead last at the end of the first lap. We're in P17 at the end of the first lap in this race, closing the gap up to Mick now in the braking side. I feel like that's what I'm good at. I can close the gap, but I just can't get the run to have a look at them at the next turn. So that's something that we are going to have to focus on. There's a yellow flag for Pierre Gasly. Gasly's had a moment and he is off the track. And he's had a moment with his teammate, I would assume. Oh, he's got up onto the curb. He's tried to hold it around the outside and he just honestly couldn't do it. Did he outbrake himself as well? So he's trying to go right around the outside. He also got up onto the curb. That's actually pretty easy to do, in all honesty. So I reckon he's just done that on his own. Anyway, moving on for this race now. We're trying to stay with Mick now, even though I know that it's going to be pretty tricky to stay with these grivet cars. But as long as we can stay in this DRS train, we should hopefully be okay, and we can move on and have Mick just pull us along. But Antonio Giovinazzi is having a look at us into turn 11. We try to give him some space, and in fact he's been turned around. And there's guaranteed to be contact. There is, right at the apex though. Oh, he's been collected as well by a Williams, it looks like, and I think they're out of the race. So this is on board with Antonio. Gee, he wasn't really up to the outside apex, and that Williams just came in and collected his wing. I thought I did enough to give him some space, but Antonio just wasn't really that close to me. Then close me going into the corner. This is on board with the Williams. Oh, that's just bad luck. That's pretty late. There was nothing he could have done. And the safety car is deployed. The safety car is deployed on lap 5. It's Callum Islet that has been collected. And now anyone who's in the top 10 that's on soft compound tyres would be coming in to change their tyres, I reckon. I know it might be pretty early and it could be a stretch for the mediums, but let's see what happens. So Bottas, the race leader, comes in, set of mediums, and small stack at Mercedes, but not too bad. Double stacking at Ferrari, double stacking at Alpine, I think it looked like. There was definitely double stacking at McLaren. Gee, there's a lot of stuff going on in the pit lane. Let's go back and have a look at Red Bull. Yeah, big stack there with Sergio Perez, and Lewis is still stuck in his pit box because Perez is blocking him from even getting out. Let's go have a look at Alpine now. I know there was definite double stacking at McLaren, and there was a little bit of stacking for Alpine, and I think that all those cars would have been in the top 10 or so starting on softs. And with all of that, Yuki Tsunoda leads the Bahrain Grand Prix as things stand at the moment, because everyone's now come in and made their stop. Because we've only done 4 laps of green flag running, the safety or the field wasn't really that spread out, so this safety car should be in at the end of this lap, because when the field compresses and bunches up, that's when the safety car comes in. So we're just waiting for the safety car to eventually come in, which is now. We're getting ready to go racing now. I'm trying to burn off a bit of fuel, because you'll see throughout this race the fuel burn actually isn't that bad. We're actually saving a lot of fuel Now, can we do a Max Verstappen trick and try and get past Mick at the green flag? And it looks like we are able to. Can we get Stroll in the process? George is a bit of a stretch, but we're going to see if we can get Stroll. We outbraked ourselves, actually, and we actually made contact with George. We took a lot of curb at the turn 1 apex, and that allows Stroll to get back up the inside, but it allows Mick to have a look at us into turn number 4. Bottas is already behind us, and he is going to get past Mick at a fast rate of knots, I would expect. They're going to go side by side through the S's. Bottas is going to go right around the outside. Did he pull the move off? I reckon he might have, and confirmation on board with my teammates, yes he has. So now we are going to be under fire from Bottas in just a second, or we might maybe even now as we make the run to turn 10, not turn 10, turn 11, and he's already up our inside. So anyone who came into the pits under the safety car are gonna get past us pretty darn quickly. Lando Norris being one of them, and Leclerc's already got past my teammate. And well, you know, there's nothing that the two of us can do at this rate, because when the cars have made their pit stops and us being on a one stop and staying out under that safety car, honestly, there is not a lot we could do. Leclerc gets up the inside of us now at turn 1, pretty much the other. I guess what's it going to be? Turn 1, turn 4, turn 11, and maybe the last turn. Max now gets a run on us as well. The reigning champion gets past us. We try a little switchback, but in the end, that car is just too quick and just has pretty much guaranteed traction. Ricciardo gets us in the braking zone before turn 11, so that just quickly comes to my mind whether we should start doing some brake upgrades. But we do need fabrication spec 3 for the chassis department, and that's still a while away. We're going to need to start saving some cash in order for that to happen. I reckon by the time we do, there could be contract negotiation period, which means that he's going to throw a curveball in that task as well. Now Lewis Hamilton is getting past us. Look at the speed of that Mercedes. Any car that just gets past us is just going to get past us with slipstream and DRS. Honestly, there's nothing we can literally do about it. We've only got our ERS to really keep us in front of these guys. Perez goes right around the outside, or up the inside at turn 4 and turn 5 of the S's, and now he is up into P12, demotes us into P13. We're just dropping like flies here at the moment. We're trying our best to hang in there with these guys via DRS, but it's not working out so far. This gaggle of cars just brought us back into it a little bit. We're going to see if we can have a look at Perez. I don't know why I was thinking this at the beginning, because honestly, he's just going to have the traction just zip away like that. And with that, our best bet now is basically just nag DRS off of these guys. Honestly, I don't think points are that much on the horizon now. I think they're pretty much out the window. Carlos Sainz is now up our inside. I'm trying to fall back, get a switch back, but honestly, the traction of those cars is absolutely insane. This is lap 13 now, so we're coming into the pit lane, and Lewis is into the pit lane as well. Apparently he had some front wing damage out of what? I actually didn't even pick that up. I only just realised that at the end of the race. Anyway, 2.6 second stop onto the hard compound tyres. That's Pierre Gasly, Lance Stroll and Lewis have done the same thing. So onto the track we go now. Following lap, Robert follows us in. I'd be pretty sure he'd be going onto another brand new set of hards. That's exactly what he's done, and the same thing has gone with George Russell, who has rejoined miles in front of the two of us. Gasly gets up the inside at turn 4. There's no point in us fighting that AlphaTauri. That AlphaTauri, honestly, that is one rapid car. That thing, you just can't fight it anymore now. That car is just too quick to keep behind. And of course, that was us passing Mick Schumacher into the braking zone at turn 1. So we're trying to nag some DRS off of Gasly to try and go with him. That did not last long at all. Yellow flag behind us. I wonder who's that for? But we'll continue on. More cars are starting to make their pit stops. Nikita Mazepin just coming in for medium compound tyres. Oh, it's our teammate who's out of the race, who is behind us. Why is he pulled out of this race? There's no smoke, so it must be something terminal. Oh dear, we've just signed our teammate for this season, and he has just he's already lost an engine component, I reckon. Gasly has a spin for a second time in this race, and now the safety car has been deployed for the second time. So the safety car is out, and us going wide doesn't really help things too much. I reckon Gasly has just had a plain spin there. And we've just overtaken the safety car, because apparently the safety car got deployed when the leader got past. So I'm thinking, where is the leader? It's Valtteri Bottas, who is the leader from Lando Norris. Where are they? Oh, they're just coming out of turn 10 right now. This is a replay of what happened to Gasly. He's hit the mark, he's hit the apex, and he just had a plain spin. He just had a plain old spin, and he's managed to get the thing mobile and get it out of the way. And it looks like the Merc and the McLaren have made their second stop of the race, whereas the three in front haven't. So now we could be on for points here, because when everyone makes their stop, which I'd imagine would be in the next lap or so, we could still be on for points here in this race. So the safety car is going to come in at the end of lap 19. We're going to have 10 laps to try and score ourselves some unlikely points, but we're going to have to try and pass George in the process if we're going to have any chance of that happening. So back to green flag racing now. We're going to see if we can have a look at George into turn 1. He goes defensive though. That's not what I wanted. We dive up as far as Daniel Ricciardo, and George nearly gets past Max Verstappen in that process. So now, can we stay with George Russell here? It is important to do so, because if we don't, he's just going to skip away, and Daniel might even be having a look at us soon. So it's important to stay with George and not let Daniel pass, but good luck with that task. He's on a fresh set of medium compound tyres, and honestly, there is nothing I can do against that. Fernando is also on a brand new set of mediums as well, as we go wide at the entry to turn 14, I think this is. And Fernando, can he get a good run out of us? No, we're using our ERS to try and stay in front, because we want to get a good run onto the front straight. Anyway, round 2. This time we stay within track limits, and Fernando is still hanging in there, but we do get a flowing run around the outside. We're going to leave him no space for now, and we're going to just try and stay in front. And with him here, Ricciardo has already passed George Russell. That was almost a given. And now Fernando has just clean got past us, and now we're getting swamped by Stroll and Lewis Hamilton in the process. As DRS is now enabled, we're going to make it 4 wide heading into turn 1. We've hit it, the apex, and we hold on for now. But how long would that last now? We actually had a collision warning with Fernando there. Let's have a look at a replay. Oh, it turned out to be 3 wide in the end. I wouldn't know how you managed to get 4 cars through there if it was 4 wide, but it was only 3 wide, and Lewis actually got the benefit with that. He got past the both of them, and now he is going to get past us before the braking zone. We're not even going to try and contest that, because there is absolutely no point in us now, and there's probably even no point in contesting Fernando at this rate, because he's up the inside far enough. We're going to try and set up the switchback, but unfortunately we've hit him on the way through, and that might be that 1 point down the drain. Or is it we try again at turn 1, but he got the switchback done this time, and well, there goes P10, and there goes points for us in this race. So now our task is to maybe have one more look, but I don't think that's going to happen. Now we're going to try and keep Gasly and Stroll behind us, but honestly, with 6 laps to go, they're on fresh set of tyres. I don't think, or I don't know how that is going to work. The only way that's going to work is we get DRS off of Fernando Alonso, which we've already fallen out of, and Gasly and then AlphaTauri. That ridiculous speed of the AlphaTauri gets past us well before the braking zone at turn 1. So we're down to P12 now. Stroll and Giovinazzi are the next two behind us, and I'm hoping that it is going to be just those two that's going to fight us. Now we're having a fight with Stroll. We give him a lot of space, and he's gone round as well. He's the second car that's gone round at turn 11 with us, and I swear I left him more room than what I did with the Giovinazzi. Honestly, he's compromised his line though. He's compromised his line. He's gone in too skinny. Yeah, so he could have at least moved over to the right a little bit more if he wanted to get through without spinning around. And well, that's where we made contact, and there was still a big gap to the apex, or not a big gap, but that's like a 30 centimeter ruler worth to the apex. So that's where we touched, and that's where how far Stroll is at the apex. To be honest, if he was more towards me, and if he made the apex, there wouldn't be contact. I'd almost guarantee you that. I reckon Stroll has pretty much done that to himself. So he's left me plenty of room. I tried to leave him plenty of room, which I reckon I did so successfully. But in all honesty, he just came up into me. If that's not the case, then it's just a racing incident. You guys can decide either way, but honestly, I'm going to decide either way. I felt like I left him the space. He just came up into me. But I thought if I left him the space, then it's a racing incident. Now, Sergio Perez is the car that's behind us, and hopefully he is the last car we have to deal with in the last 3 laps. We'll make it 2 laps now as we cross the line. Perez is already within our DRS window. As we head into turn 1, good luck trying to keep this rebel behind with us now. He is under half a second now. He's on a fresh set of medium compound tyres, so I'm not surprised about that. He is already behind us. He's going to go up the inside at turn 4. He doesn't quite get up far enough, but can he get the traction to have a look at turn or through the S's? I didn't want to leave him space, but in the end I did, and we got through unscathed. Now he gets up the inside with DRS, and this time he gets the move done. Us now down into P13. Now we've got Ocon behind us. This is not what I was hoping for. The only way we're going to keep him behind now is if we get DRS off of Perez, which we've been able to do so, but Ocon is literally behind Checo, as we are not wearing clear air, but not for long, as we get up the inside and we hold on for a little while longer, and we do get another dose of DRS on Perez, but this might be the last dose that we get, so best we use this opportunity to create a gap and break away. That has not helped. Now Carlos Sainz is being brought into the party. We are swerving around just like Abu Dhabi to try and keep Ocon behind, and we got a collision warning with him there. Hopefully we don't have to have another collision warning, and we can get to the line unscathed. Lando Norris back-to-back wins in the McLaren, and that is very good for Lando. That should do him a lot of confidence heading into this season. Down into the last corner now. We just need to get around here, and we are going to hold on just about for P13 in the Bahrain Grand Prix. This is a better start than where we were last year.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Ferme.
Brilliant stuff from McLaren today. What a superb victory. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
I think a large part of the result comes down to temperament. They were able to keep their heads when everyone around them was losing theirs, and that's allowed them to get the best out of the car, to maximise the strategy, and to stay out of trouble.
As the winners make their way up to the podium, one can only imagine the celebrations that will take place at McLaren tonight. Congratulations to everyone on the team, securing the win and proving they're a force to be reckoned with out on the track.
That's a big confidence booster that for Lando Norris. Getting the win at the end of the year and the season opener. here right now. That should give him a lot of confidence heading into the rest of the season and the next episode, which will be China, for that matter. So us P13 on the at the end of the race, pretty good result for us, I reckon, considering where we were last year. And you know, the only way from that point of the safety car restart, the second one, was going to be either one place up or just falling back down. And in this case, it was only a few places down from the safety car restart. So with P13, it's a considerable improvement from where we were last year, but there is still a long way to go. The only way for us here is upwards. That's basically the only way to go if we're going to win this championship, which is very, very slim, which I might add. That it's going to have to take absolutely something miraculous for us to even be fighting for wins here. So the aim for this season, before the end of the year, is to get a win. Honestly, if we don't get a win, I'm going to be very, very disappointed. But we still need to upgrade our car a lot. We still have a lot of upgrading to do on the car if we're even going to get anywhere close to being winning contenders. So we've still got a long way to go. We've got a lot of upgrading to do on the car, but thankfully it is a long season, so anything can happen. 23 races in this calendar. There is still a lot that can play out, and hopefully we can get this car up the front before the end of the year, and hopefully get a race win under our belt. I would absolutely love a race win here, in all honesty. That would be just an absolute massive achievement for this team and for myself, and hopefully Mick can get up there in the points as well. I hope that Mick does find his way into the points somehow. But anyway guys, thank you guys so much for watching the first episode. If you haven't seen the last episode, link is always in the description. Smash that like button if you haven't, subscribe to the channel, all that good things, and until the next one, I'll see you guys next time.